And when Tide's group arrived, I don't know if they got training in this, but they somehow allayed the whole stress and everybody was freaking out. They allayed everybody. Everybody was just calm, and they kind of like started dealing with it from a different angle. They attacked it more from a strategic angle, and they knew what they were doing, and we could feel that, somehow about the way they handled and tackled it. And we just kind of calmed down, and then they said, no, we have to figure out where we're going to make fire pass. And then they picked a really good spot, because I tell you, if that fire had caught that line of bamboo there, it probably would have burnt our house. And it would have burned all the rest of the old agroforestry that we didn't lose, thankfully. It was a more younger growth, which was, you lost it and whatever, but they also somehow calmed us down. Because I was just in the kitchen cooking like crazy, because I said, okay, I got to do something to keep me occupied so I'm not stressing too much on the fire. So I just kept cooking and like nobody was eating, but I was just cooking, and then they came and go like, you want to eat? And I just kept feeding everyone, and then Mara was like, calm down, we're not eating right now, calm down. But yeah, so I just like to mention that we were very, very grateful for their assistance and their input in so many ways, other than fire outing,
Part of it, because this is the second fire we got hit with, we have more strategies how to deal with it now. If we start see fires as a concern, we work more on building fire passes.
And we got rid of some of the trees that are like the cajon trees that we probably did not need in our agroforestry system.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It throws fire from one to the other.
That way.
Yeah, we donate food. We donate food every.
Just start to move.
We were under the impression we were like, this is suspicious, nobody's there. Somebody must have gone there and started that fire. But when Cajon started spitting seeds all the way here from over there, we go like, okay, this is how it's happening. Yeah. Because it was months without rain, so everything was flammable, honestly. If you just breathe, like you catch. You breathe too hot, it caught. It was so hot, dry.
We donate food every week to something called Helping Older People Equally for the last 21 years. And for 6 months after the fire, they were getting Cajon cabbage every week. It's like, that one looks like if the fire, okay, you go, off you go,
Yeah.
So.
Before that, we thought it was so cool having Cajon in our agroforestry system, but during the fire, we were like, okay, maybe we weren't as smart as we thought.
Yeah, they're all getting slowly evicted away from the fire zone. We're leaving them in the bush because they're valuable. They give nut and the goodies.
Interesting, the adaptation in agroforestry that you have to do now because
yes,
of climate change.
Yeah, exactly. We definitely learned there. And another thing I'd also like to mention is, other than the agroforestry and farms that were lost during that fire, part of the sadness was seeing all the little animals running for cover. Everything was just exiting bush, and I'm sure some of them got burnt. So there was a lot of ecosystem that was lost, a lot of homes that were lost, and a lot of, I don't know what all was lost in the jungle, in the bush. Yeah. But we could smell copal burning, so that's how we knew that copal trees were out there. And even now, when we're driving towards Indian Creek, heading out, you can still see the hills are still bare. And it's a sad sight, because I'm not used to seeing that. I'm used to seeing green,
Yeah, I was, just the other day, I was coming in on a boat, and I was looking at the hills in Toledo.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, like there's quarrying going on, because it was these white mountain faces. And
exactly.
I think it was Federico maybe was on the boat with me, and he was like, no, that's the fire.
It's fire.
It blew my mind, like what it looked like from kind of that perspective.
We had a lot of people come from Colombia and help us, and then of course we had help from Tide. Now the most of all those people, and the Belize Defense Force, of all of those, the ones that were probably the most valuable were the help from Tide, because their work that they did was oversized considering the size of the crew that they brought in. But they brought in a lot of expertise and experience, so that they were able to direct people who are like, we don't know what to do, and Tide was like, follow me, do what we're doing. We're gonna walk into the agroforestry section for like 2 minutes, because I just want to show you what we're talking about, and then we'll go show you the fire. But there was a point where the fire came over the ridge over there, which we'd seen before, because we got hit by a fire in 2008. But the conditions weren't as dry as they were last year. I mean, last year was terrifying. And it came down this way and started to burn over towards a patch of bamboo. If it had hit the bamboo, it would have put a line of fire straight up into the middle of the farm, and we would have lost a lot more than what we lost. So we lost a nascent multi-strat agroforestry system that was focused on tropical staple trees, particularly breadfruit, breadnut, jackfruit, ramon nut, and peach palm. Most of those were burnt in the fire. One or two of them survived. They were all replaced. We got donated we got a lot of support after the fire and also during the fire. But Mario and his team were absolutely instrumental in stopping it from spreading further. Most of the people that came out to fires came out with little backpack sprayers. So there was a fire that went up into the bamboo, which backpack sprayer can't reach. But they have these great pumps, and they're just like, and they managed to kill it up in the air, which is great because I at that time, I was very concerned that if it had hit into the bamboo, it would have, because I could hear my neighbor's bamboo catching on fire, and it sounded like a pitched gun battle down there.